That was a little different. Hey y'all, APG Jamie here. And today brings us a video. Y'all, I'm going to make some swatches on purpose. They're not necessarily good swatches, but I had an idea. I wanted to use them for embellishment effects. And I'm putting a hashtag on that, embellishment effects, because I thought it sounded so cool. Anywho, you don't have to make swatches on purpose to do this. Let's say you got some new paints. Whatever kind of paints you got. Now, I don't know that I would do oil paints because they take so long to dry, and they probably don't work very well on paper. Just saying, okay? Think art journaling, scrapbooking, I don't know, whatever else your imagination leads you to think, okay? You're trying out those new pencils and markers and acrylic paints and watercolors and gelatos and magicals or whatever, sprinkles or spritzing kind of stuff you have, y'all. Now, I'm using watercolor paper, okay, because I have some lightweight, inexpensive, cheap even, watercolor paper. So that's what I'm using. And I am blending this out with a fluid matte medium because gelatos are not a permanent color. Y'all know I like permanency pretty much, usually, typically, except those distress oxide inks. I love those. Anyway, so I'm using the fluid matte medium to activate them with. You don't have to activate gelatos, but you know, most people do. You don't have to do what most people do. Do what you want to do. And this will secure them better onto the paper. I will also go over the whole of the swatch card after it initially dries and all that stuff, okay? So I'm just smooshing colors around. Not necessarily an actual good palette choice, but you know, my whole thinking was I'm using these swatches, okay, because they are swatches, they are legitimately swatches to make embellishments with, okay? Just saying. You get like, well, I'm already repeating myself. Holy smokes. We're what? Not even through, almost 3 minutes into the video, and I'm going to repeat myself. When you're checking out your new pencils, your colors, your paints, your whatevers, okay, even embossing powders, y'all. Swatch that stuff too. And you know, you don't use a swatch book per se. Keep those bits. Use them for your embellishments. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So now we've got 2 hours worth of upcoming video, and I've already said everything within 4 minutes time. Boom. There it is. Y'all. Anyway, we do this for a while. I will try to put timestamps in the description below. So if you want to zip forward to the embellishment effects that we're going to use, you may do so, all right? Or the photo montage or the flip-flop or whatever, y'all, whatever. Now I'm using Lindy's Magicals. Bless my heart, y'all. I don't think I necessarily listed out the specific colors in the description below, but I did list out the more or less the ingredients used in this particular video, okay? And I do keep distilled water in my spritz bottles and my water brush pens and that kind of thing, because distilled water will not get moldy on you. It just won't do it, y'all. Like tap water or even spring water or rainwater, you know, that kind of thing. Coffee water will get moldy on you too, just saying. Anyways, that's what I keep in all my bottles. It's, you know, I get it by the gallon from the Walmarts. I don't know how much it is anymore, you know, and that's all I use in my spray bottles and water brush pens, because I've lost a couple water brushes to mold in the water brush, and I don't want to do that anymore. So distilled water, y'all. And some of these I'm smooshing around with a damp or AKA wet, whatever, paintbrush. Once the magicals are dry, when they've been fully activated and then dry, they are permanent, like a permanent wave in your hair. So, and some of the ones I have shimmering abilities in them, and some of them don't. I don't know which is which. Don't make no difference to me. I have marked, because I'm in little sprinkle bottles, as you see. I have marked the side that's got the little, like a salt and pepper shaker. It's a little bigger than that. But anyway, with the little white dot, that tells me that's my shaker portion. The other side is like an opening. And yeah. When I first started doing this, I showed you that weird pink brush. I think it's an eyelash brush, or it could be an eyebrow brush. I don't know, y'all. It came from the Dollar Tree, and it's kind of handy to use to sprinkle powdery stuff out with. Just saying, somewhat, you know, not necessarily perfectly, but you know, whatever. Sometimes a fan brush does just as well, but it doesn't fit in my little containers, okay? Any hooter-doodles. Do use plenty of water, and with such, it will make your paper curl, even watercolor paper curls, y'all, and bows up and otherwise. And once the magicals start cohabitating on the same space on the card, they will get a little muddy when you're using warms and cools together. Just saying. But sometimes it can still look pretty cool, which you'll see, because we will get there any hour now. How long is the video, you may wonder? I don't know. It probably says somewhere, thumbnail, or when you first see the picture, click-through rate, CTR. That's what that's considered. And YouTube's counts click-through rate. In other words, if you see my thumbnail, how many people out of 100, let's say, just for grins, because I don't know how they actually do it, because I'm not an analytical kind of person. Out of 100 people, how many people actually clicked on the thumbnail click-through rate to watch the video? Just saying. And basically, from what I understand, to actually count as a full view of watching the video, people need to watch it about 1 or 2 minutes. I don't know how they do that for the shorts, because they're not even a minute long, y'all. Anyways, we're just swatching out colors, okay? I decided it was easier to just swatch out the gelatos, so we went back to gelatos. Because on the others, you know, when you're using all that water, you gotta let everything dry. Sometimes it's best not to use a heat gun, because when you're using a heat gun on watery stuff, it tends to blow it around. AKA muddish again, okay? So we are just going to do this until we are all really tired of seeing me smoosh gelatos out on a little square or rectangle of watercolor paper. And some of them, the colors look pretty good together. And some of them, it's like, I don't know that I would ever use those colors together. But why not? I mean, you know. Speaking of colors, tip for inspirational color swatching. or combinations. You have a favorite top or a dress or skirt or a pair of pants or something. All those colors go well together. See, somebody else has already done the hard part for you. They've already put your colors together. You just got to pick them out and separate them and reassemble them. Sort of. So, yeah. Anyways, fashions are a good place to find color inspirations. And we're just moving along with our gelatos and our fluid matte medium. Now on the fluid matte medium, I use golden or Liquitex. Golden is smoother and slightly thicker. Liquitex is a little less expensive, okay? Can't say neither one's cheap, but anyway, just saying. I think we're almost through making our swatch cards, and then, I'll let them dry. Oh, this project I've worked on off and on for a while, okay, just because it was like one of those ideas, and I thought, well, I'm just going to film it while I'm doing it, because maybe it'll be okay, and maybe it won't, so that's just saying. So lighting and stuff is sometimes different here and there. As is probably the length of my fingernails and perhaps even my ring wearing, because sometimes I don't wear my rings when my hands swell up. So I have a little bit of gold waxy stuff, and this is a piece of junk mail or something. It came in something, y'all, came in the mail. And I embossed it with an embossing folder, and we are going over the texture with a gold color. Real hard to see on my little editing screen. I don't know about you. Anyway, I like the embossing. It's got the little dots on it. It's dots, circles, sort of smaller than circles. More of a dot. Yeah, it's one of the 3D ones, and it's reminiscent to me of Braille paper. Where blind people are able to read the Braille type. Okay, it's reminiscent of that for me. And I have some book page there and some Tor bits of book page. The other one is in a foreign language, and I believe I had 2 pages glued together. That blue piece over there is an envelope that I use to keep paint off of other stuff, I guess. That's what it looks like, drop paper of some sort. And I also used an embossing folder on that. My secret internet, thank you, secret internet admirer, sent me the paving stone 3D embossing folder. That's what's on that envelope, but I never did use it in this session. Anyway, I have some ephemera bits there, probably ideology stuff. And I spread them out, and I'm going to get out some paper dolls at some point, because I love the paper dolls. I do. And I've got some bits of fabric. I've got some of those colored table runners from Hobby Lobby spring department, and so I have various colors of that, which it's basically a cheesecloth-ish kind of stuff. Okay, anyway, so I got some pieces of that, and I think I have some threads, and essentially if it's on my desk, it's fair game when I am doing embellishment effects. Doesn't that sound so cool, y'all? So cool. Anyway, getting some ink out because I'm using a paper doll, and I like to blush up their little cheeks and try to give them little lips, and these are the little teeny tiny ones. And it's a little more harder to use, to blush them up. But anyway, I don't know if you will be able to tell in the photo montage or not. I had some issues with my camera phone when I was taking pictures. Actually, a lot lately. My pictures have been a blue color, and I don't know why they are coming out so blue. I even tried doing the white balance, and that didn't help a darn thing. I was able to correct the photos for the photo montage much later, y'all. Within my editing software, which is what? PowerDirector? Yes, that's what it says, PowerDirector. And so I was able to get the blue out of it. I just don't understand. I don't know, maybe it needs to go in the shop. Oh, who can do without their phone? I don't know. I'm not a real big phone person, but but yet I look at it all day long. No, not really. Just from time to time. Gotta check the Instagrams and the Twitters and the Facebooks, that kind of thing. And I take pictures and I use the phone to talk to just basically my husband. Well, I have a few friends I talk to. Here I am spelling out my life story, y'all. Look at this paper doll. He's going to be a butterfly boy. As you may be able to see, these color swatchings are working out fairly well, I think. I didn't use all of them. They will stay in the scrap pile for now. Just saying. And embellishments, clusters, if you want to call them clusters, it's clusters. Can be of varying sizes. Here I decided to punch out some circles. I was trying to get all the 4 colors on there, and then I thought, well, let's just punch out each color, because you can do that too. Got square punch, use square punch. You got a butterfly punch, use butterfly punch. I mean, your imagination's your limitation. Just saying. So we're layering them up, and I punched those circles. And I don't know that I ever used any of the circles, to tell you the truth, because this was filmed yesterday. Typically I film, well, actually it was over several different settings. No wonder I can't remember anything. But I definitely finished filming it yesterday, and I don't remember stuff sometimes. We got some wax seals. That's another mask making set in. When you want to make something, but you don't have anything in particular in mind, do the busy work. Excuse me. I've said before how I like to take paper clay and use it in my molds, because I do. And that's something you can do creatively, but not be making a particular project. You can make clusters or things to use in your embellishment effects as busy work. Not really busy work. Well, it kind of is busy work. You want to make something, but nothing necessarily in specifically or Pacific, depending on, which Atlantic you're at. And die cutting is another thing to do. Making swatches is another one. There's lots of busy work out there. Make a bunch of envelopes or cards, greeting cards, y'all. All that. And now we're going to do some inking. I don't think I necessarily show you a whole lot of inking. And some of these I show you me laying them out, and some of them I've already laid them out, and then we're just going to assemble them. I can't decide what y'all like. Y'all not telling me. Do you like slow videos, real time? Because I tend to speed up. But then I edit, and not everybody edits their videos and do voiceovers. Anyway. Y'all don't tell me what you want. Gluing on a wax seal. I know a lot of people use hot glue for that. I'm just using my regular favorite glue. And got a lot of those. Those are good to make for, mask makings, not sure what you want to do today kind of stuff. And my husband informed me I glued on one of my pieces of fabric there upside down, and You had to turn it the other way around to read it. And I'm like, well, it's just supposed to be visual texture, and you know, it's not necessarily meant to be rated. It's what my first thought was, and it came out red. Anyways, so we're laying all this stuff out. I'm pretty happy with all my little bits. Just saying. I use some of the ideologies, but not too many. I'm more inclined, y'all know I love my paperdolls. It's hard for me not to use them all the time. And I have other bits, ephemera bits, in those little tin cans, and some of them I even have labels that I made. I use one of those because it's funny. I think it's a made-up town when I use that one, which you'll see at some point. I think it's a made-up. There could be a town called that, but I don't know. Because that's kind of fun to make up stuff, y'all. Sometimes it's kind of fun. And just trimming off a little label. This feller's gonna get a label. I'm not sure. Sometimes I think it's a combination of the color and the shape that I'm attracted to, that I want to use. My muse, my inspiration, my intuitive side. Yeah, that's what I think it is. Now, you know, Louisa Heinzel talks hers out. But she's analyzing her thought process. I don't do that so much, y'all. I'm just like, yeah, that makes me happy. No, that does not make me happy. I'm that kind of person. But it's the same thing. Why does it make you happy? Why does that not make you happy? Because sometimes it's important to know what you don't like and why you don't like it. But, you know, we're not doing analytics today. Even though I've already talked about analytics, we're not doing analytics because I'm not a numbers kind of girl. And we just keep making these embellishment effects a long time. Okay, well, I think it was, you know, a couple hours anyway, because I enjoy it. Oh, and we got some eyelets, y'all. Oh, and did you know? You probably already know this. My Hobby Lobby no longer carries eyelets. The last time I was in my Michaels, not that I own them, y'all, but anyway, they didn't really have any either. So I don't know what we're going to do about all that. I guess we're just going to have to start getting everything through the Amazons, which is kind of sad because they're typically at least $1 more than what it is at a store locally, if you're blessed enough to be able to go to a local store. Okay? I know not everybody is. So we're just going to keep doing this and fiddling around and looking for stuff and putting stuff around and changing stuff around, and I'm like, oh, I really don't want to cover that up, and then I cover it up, and I'm like, well, that's too bad, and I don't know. You know, I don't know, you know. Of course you did. Or maybe you're just finding out. Your work should be enjoyable for you. Oh, I like this one. Yeah, I liked all of them. It's like, oh, which one's my favorite? I don't know. That is a 49 and Market translucent leaves in the eucalyptus color family, is I believe what they're calling them. And I like the translucent wings from Tim. You know, Timmy's translucent wings. And I like those a lot. So when I saw these when I was with Tanya in Florida, I thought, I'm going to get those. They were very reasonably priced. Oh, there's my phone. Hello, phone. Anyways. Then I got the mushroom. And she's kind of sitting. This paper doll is sitting, but she's also got like her elbow propped on the mushroom. Do you see that? You know, so I think a couple of them get word captions, but really not this time. Because I think some of that's going to depend on how they're used at whatever point, if ever, they get used. Just saying, if ever. I also have this book from my dear, sweet, secret internet admirer. And it has a lot of, it's got number pages and word and alphas and all kinds of quotes. Oh, that's a different book. Anyway. And it had the number 5, and I'm like, that's the number I need for this next little embellishment effect piece that we're currently working on. Just trimming around the edge. Yeah, it does look indexy card size, doesn't it? Almost, pretty much, sort of. Burnishing. Burnish it all down. Glue stick, burnish. Smoosh them together really well. See, 5s. And that one's going on there. Because I had already pre-laid this out. And that edge wasn't straight and it didn't make me happy. So I'm like, well, we're just going to make it just a wee bit more straighter. Just a little more straighter. I know most of the 5s are covered, but that's okay. And now I'm going to add a ticket corner. You know, it's like a quarter of a circle. So just using a hole punch and lining up both the top and bottom cards, because they're both cards. And we're just cutting, punching the hole, half a hole, quarter of a hole, whatever. And so that it sort of is a ticket-ish look, okay? Inking. And I think we double ink. That's where you use a color, and it kind of comes around the edge just a little bit in, and then go around the whole thing with a darker color, in this case, black soot, I'm sure. And that is actually just on the edge. It's such a cool effect, y'all. It really is. I think so. So this one's getting a label, a word label. It says 5 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, baby. And that's also going to become a pocket or a tuck spot, because I only glued 2 sides. So I guess technically it's a tuck, not a pocket per se. But anyway, nonetheless, you can stick something in there, which we will at whatever point. Now I've got a piece of deli paper. I really like the deli paper over tissue because it's a bit stronger than tissue, in my opinion, for the way I art and craft, okay? And I've typed out my little word phrase. I think it just says just hanging out. I think it's what I'm pretty sure that's what it says. So I'm just tearing it out. Sometimes I use the water brush and water cut it. And we're just going to put a little bit of fluid matte medium on there, smoosh it out with our finger, and go over the top with our finger. Like I said, now that those colors, you know, because we smooshed out the gelatos with the matte medium, and then once that was all dry, we went over the complete top of them with matte medium. So they're pretty much where they are. They're not going to be smearing around any. This is a bigger card with the magicals on there, and we have some fabrics and cheesecloth, and we're just going to fabric-tack those down because I've already pre-laid this one out. Okay, and these colors made me happy together, and I thought they looked just fine on the card, which we did trim down the card. You don't have to. These embellishment effects can be as large or as small as you want them to be, or need them to be, even, just saying. And they can be as complicated and as layered as you may want them to be. Now, I'm thinking this piece is going to slide over the top of a piece of paper. And if you glue it just right on the top of the paper, both sides can have a tuck spot. Okay? Just saying. That's my thought. Or they can just slip over the top and you can use a paper clip or other clipping device to hold it onto the page. Okay, this is a paper clip. We had our thin strip left from that other one and a piece of scrap cardstock that I have, well, it was already this narrow. I just trimmed it to more or less fit within that piece of painty watercolor paper. Bless my heart, lost what it was. Anyway, got our paper. We took a little notch out with the hole punched so that the paper clip would slide down over there flush. And we're gluing the one side on the inside of the painty card. And now we're going to glue the other side. Hidden paper clip. Can't see that it's a paper clip, y'all, but it's a paper clip. Y'all seen me do this before. If not, why not? Videos. Plenty of recordings. Well, for me it's plenty. I mean, it's over 700. Not as many as some, but a few more than others, maybe. Not a competition. It's not. Might feel like it sometimes, but it's really not. So we're using 2 different colors of the table runner, aka cheesecloth, and flower embellishment. Using tweezers to stick it on there. Sometimes my fingers get in my own way. It's so weird. And there is a wax seal. I think this one has a bee on it. Put a bee on it. And we've got the mushroom on the other side. Oh, flip-flop time, y'all. Flip-flop. There's nothing on the backs. I didn't do anything on the back, so they can be journaled on or glued down or whatever. That little plain card is just to show that it's a pocket. I did the picture and misfilmed it. I used the collage medium grazing on there, and it worked pretty well for me this time. And that's the made-up town. I said, I think it says Bowleg, Kentucky. It's just whatever, y'all. Make it up. It's fun. It should be fun. Just bring you joy and have a good time. That one we stapled. So most of them we glued. That one's got the eyelet with the little beaded bulb pin. There's our hidden paper clip. How nice. Yeah. Fun stuff. Ta-da! Photo montage. Bowleg, Kentucky. I don't know that there's such a place, but anyway. So, anywho doodles. Getting a closer look. See, he's just hanging out. He's like up in the air. Yeah. Love these things. Love the paper dolls. See, that's how it looks on the back. So it could be a double tuck. Or not. Whatever. I don't know how it's going to be used. Or when. If ever. They may just get petted. They may just sit in my elements box and be petted and admired. And could be in a Happy Meal. I just don't know what's going to happen with this stuff, y'all. Okay? You don't have to glue. You can use staple if you want to. Or you can glue. Or double-sided tape. Glue stick. Whatever makes you happy. Whatever works best for you. Look at that bee. Y'all. These make me happy. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for watching. And happy artin', y'all. Embellishment Effect.